Hi, this is the old guy. Today we're gonna talk about SD cards versus the CFexpress cards. What is the sweet spot of SD cards? And when should you consider buying a CFexpress card instead? And how does this affect your other purchases of other devices? The best price performance card is still the V30 cards. You can get them at around $1 per 16 gigabytes. And the fastest SD cards are still the V90s, and those goes for around $1 per 1.6 gigabytes. And this CVE1 is one of the newest cameras from Sony that packs the most new features. But this only supports SD cards, and you have to get the V90 cards to support all the recording modes. And the gigabyte price of the V90 is exactly 10 times the gigabyte price of the V30s. I would try to get devices that could run on V30 cards, or I would try to get devices that supported CFexpress. And when buying SD cards, I would actually buy the micro ones and get an adapter for the devices using the ordinary size. This way I could use the cards in more devices. And the price, as you see here, is exactly the same. And with most cards you get an adapter included in the price. And here are the two cards, the V90 and the V30, the only SD cards I would recommend. And some companies understand this price to performance rate and try to make devices that can utilize these V30s. At the same time, DJI is killing it with the products they're releasing, giving us all the features available in the new camera tech and making it possible to be written to a V30 card. All the new products have 10-bit. This makes the DJI products even better budget-wise. For small-time YouTubers like me, DJI products is what I would recommend. The good thing about these micro SD cards is the ability to be used in all products, even some phones which give you upgradable storage. But now we are back to the Sony cameras, and you need a bigger sensor, the DJI products, and maybe some redundancy and even better quality files like 10-bit 422 and all intra. Now you'll need the faster cards like the V90 or the CFexpress. And here's the thing, many of the new Sony cameras like the CVE1 only supports SD cards, and you'll have to get the V90s to utilize all the features. So here's why you might want to consider to get a camera that supports CFexpress. Because in 2024, CFexpress cards are actually cheaper than the V90 SD cards. And they're from 2 to 8 times as fast, depending on the type of CFexpress card. That's why I would consider skipping the new Sony cameras that only supports SD cards and getting a camera that supports CFexpress instead, even though it might be a little more expensive and maybe a little bigger. Here are some options in the same price as the CVE1. Some a little more expensive, some a little cheaper. One cheaper is the FX30. One a little more expensive is the A7S III. And one in the same price range is the A7 IV. And if you want to get all the specs of the FX30 and the same sensor size as the CVE1, you can get the FX3 for around $1,000 more. But here's the thing, you both get faster cards, a more reliable camera that don't overheat, and actually cheaper cards too. Because right now, the CFexpress cards, even the A-type, is cheaper than the V90 SD cards. Here are some European prices on an Angelbird 1 terabyte card, where you actually get 2 gigabytes per dollar, and you're able to get bigger cards. This Angelbird and the Per Gear cards are the best price to performance cards you can get, and they're about the same price. You can get the Per Gears in smaller sizes But the thing with the CFexpress Type A is that they actually get cheaper with bigger sizes, while the V90 SD cards get more expensive if you get the big ones. Sony cameras only support Type A CFexpress cards, and they're more expensive than the Type B CFexpress cards, and the Type B CFexpress cards are twice as fast. Here you see the price of the Type B cards, nearly twice the gigabytes per dollar compared to the Type A. And I would still recommend the same brands, Angelbird and Pergear. Sony only supports CFexpress Type A, but they're twice as fast as the V90 SD cards, and they're cheaper. If you're not a Sony guy and you want a camera that supports CFexpress Type B, here are a list of the most available cameras around with CFexpress Type B and prices of the 4 card types I mentioned. And we're at the point where I would probably skip the new cameras that only supports SD cards and get one that supports CFexpress, just because of the fact that CFexpress cards now are cheaper and are only getting faster. So to sum it up, if you're getting devices that need SD cards, get devices that are covered with V30 cards. If you need faster data transfers, buy devices with CFexpress. Buy from the old guy.